Before Gideon ever lifted a sword, before he ever led an army, before anyone called him a warrior, he was a man hiding in fear. He believed he was nothing. He believed his life had no purpose. But I saw something in him that he could not see in himself. The Midianites had crushed Israel. My people hid in caves. They lived in fear. And Gideon was hiding in a winepress, trying to thresh wheat in secret, hoping the enemy would not find him. Gideon said, "They will take everything. I have to stay hidden. I cannot let them find me." He believed he was surviving, but I was preparing him to rise. So I sent my messenger to him, not to a king, not to a soldier, not to a leader, but to a man who thought he was the least. The angel said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon said, "Mighty warrior? No, you are mistaken. My family is the weakest, and I am the least in my father's house." He saw weakness. I saw destiny. I spoke to his heart and said, "Go in the strength you have. I will be with you." Gideon said, "But how can I save Israel? I have nothing. I am nothing, but I do not choose the strong. I strengthen the chosen." Gideon trembled, but he listened. His first act was small, but obedience always begins small. I told him to tear down the idols in his town. He was afraid, but he obeyed. Gideon said, "Please let no one see me. Lord, help me." Courage is not the absence of fear. It is obedience in the presence of fear. When the enemy rose against Israel, Gideon called for men to fight. 32,000 answered, but I said, "Too many." Gideon said, "Too many? Lord, we are already outnumbered." I was not looking for numbers. I was looking for faith. So I reduced them to 10,000, then to 300 men against an army too large to count. Gideon said, "Lord, what are you doing? How can 300 stand against so many?" I was preparing him for a victory that only I could give. Night fell over the camp, and Gideon could not sleep. Fear pressed against him like a weight. He looked at the 300 men who trusted him, and he wondered if he had led them into disaster. But I was not finished shaping him. I said, "If you are afraid, go down to the enemy camp and listen to what they are saying." So Gideon crept down through the darkness with his servant. The Midianite army covered the valley like locusts. Their camels were too many to count. Gideon felt small, but he kept moving. As he approached the edge of the camp, he heard two soldiers speaking. One said, "I had a dream. A loaf of barley bread rolled into our camp and struck the tent with such force that it collapsed." The other replied, "This can only mean that God has given Gideon victory over Midian." When Gideon heard this, his fear broke. He fell to his knees and worshipped. He realized that I had gone before him. The battle was already decided. He returned to his men with a new fire in his voice. He said, "Get up. The Lord has given the Midianite camp into our hands." Gideon divided the 300 into 3 groups. I gave him a strategy that made no sense to human wisdom. No swords, no chariots, no army. Only trumpets, torches, and jars. Gideon said, "Do as I do. When I blow my trumpet, blow yours. Shout for the Lord and for Gideon." In the darkness, they surrounded the enemy camp. At the signal, they broke the jars, lifted the torches, and blew the trumpets with all their strength. The valley exploded with light and sound. The Midianites panicked. Confusion swept through their ranks. They turned their swords on each other. They fled in terror, believing a massive army had come against them. Gideon watched as the enemy scattered. 300 men stood against thousands, and not one of them had to lift a sword. The victory belonged to me. was over, Gideon stood in the quiet dawn, breathing the cool morning air. He had begun as a man hiding in fear, but now he stood as the leader I always knew he could be. I said to him, "I was with you when you were afraid. I was with you when you felt unworthy. I was with you when you thought you were nothing. And I will be with you in every battle still to come." Gideon learned that strength does not come from who you are. Strength comes from who walks with you. And the same is true for you.